A child prodigy drama starring Captain America? Yes, please! As a film to make between green screen sessions of throwing his shield around and representing the stars and stripes, Chris Evans could certainly do a lot worse than this movie, The Gifted. I mean, it's definitely something he could take his mother to and she could follow quite easily without having to be very deep into comic book lore. This is a human story, and I think it's a very important movie, not only for us as audiences, but just to show the width and to show the diversity and to show the range that Chris Evans has as an actor, because he shines in this. It's essentially a beautiful mind with a child prodigy court case superimposed onto the top of it, and you know what, it works really well. It mixes up the pacing between the two and you feel for all the characters. The key relationship in this movie is between Chris Evans' character, who's a scruffy Florida boat repairing handyman, and his little 7-year-old niece, played by McKenna Grace. And you know what? It's so sweet. Some people might say it's, you know, a bit puking rainbows. Yeah, I just said puking rainbows, sue me. But it moved me. I thought it to be such an honest piece of filmmaking in the way that it showed the relationship between these two characters. It wasn't overly emotional. Some may say it was a bit formulaic, possibly, but I thought it was very sincere in its delivery. Evans's ever dependable charisma and McKenna Grace's odd duck kind of quirky quality are the star attraction of this movie, but there's a lot more to it than just their relationship. What's actually nice is that usually when you've got a movie like this, it's either adapted from a book or sometimes even based on a true story. What's awesome, I think, is that the script by Tom Flynn is original, and I mean that in the purest sense of the word. It's not been adapted from anything, and it's great to see, you know, not just an original piece of cinema, but an original script come to the silver screen like this. It's great. Evans's role as Frank, who's the guardian to his young niece after his equally brilliant sister has passed away, is given the proper treatment. You know, you get the proper contours for their relationship and for the backstory. Not only that, but McKenna Grace is, when she's playing Mary, the delivery, she's got brilliant comedic timing, this young girl. And it's strange because more and more nowadays, you know, in the past we had a problem with child actors. Not a problem, but there just weren't that many good ones. But, you know, between Dakota Fanning, Elle Fanning, Jacob Tremblay from Room, and now McKenna Grace, I mean, Hollywood's pushing some serious child stars here, and this girl blows up the screen. She's amazing. Actually, on that note, this isn't the first time that director Marc Webb has brought in another child star. Now, a lot of you will probably know Marc Webb from the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, which sadly tanked, even though I actually was quite a fan, especially of the first one. Marc Webb's also responsible for 500 Days of Summer. Chloe Grace Moretz starred in that, so this guy has clearly got a talent for directing and developing child actors and actresses. Kudos, Marc Webb, well done, you've made another one. Marc Webb definitely has a way with his performers, and gets good performances from the surrounding cast too. Notably from Jenny Slate, who plays Mary's dumbfounded school teacher. Especially after she accidentally entangles, well, not accidentally, but especially after she entangles herself with Frank for a little one-night stand that ends in a glass-shatteringly funny "Good morning, Miss Stevenson." It won't make much sense now, but when you see the movie, you know, have a little bubble up here with me looking down on you. You'll remember this. This is a funny scene. Oh, and can we please talk about Lindsay Duncan, who is inspired as Frank's mother. She's an English dictatorial academic who wants to co-opt her granddaughter's brilliance, just like she did her daughter's. And there's a serious undertone in this movie of, is that why Mary's mother killed herself? Was she pushed so far by this vile, cold woman? And then you start to wonder, is this woman vile or cold though? Did she really have everyone's best interests at heart? That's where the courtroom drama part comes in, because it gives you both sides to the coin. Until the courtroom, you're all on the side of Frank. You really do only see Frank's side. But when the courtroom starts, you really do start to see other points of view, and you realise that this isn't so cut and dry as a Frank good, mother bad, daughter brilliant, should stay with Frank. It's not that clear. Even Octavia Spencer, who's always great, is given a bit of a backward role. She lifts the movie as well. Every actor does their due diligence in this movie. It's just the continuity from start to finish of this movie. I sound like I'm rambling a bit here, but this movie really, really moved me. It did what Forrest Gump did. Forrest Gump is a brilliant movie, and I'm not saying this movie is as good as Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump nearly makes me cry. I still believe, spoiler if you haven't seen it, but it's been over 20 years. Jenny gets killed off at the end of Forrest Gump too quickly. That's where it lets me down. This movie doesn't kill anyone off, I'm not saying that, but it nearly makes me cry. It just falls short of brilliance. But everyone in this movie just gives a solid performance. The movie is well thought out. There's real emotion to it. You know what? Fuck this. Let's get to the conclusion. Guys, I am scoring this movie 8.5 out of 10. It's losing points simply because there is an argument to be made that some of the scenes can feel a bit formulaic. There is an argument to be said that maybe the characters are a bit too archetypal as opposed to being real people and individuals. I don't believe that, but I can see where people would come from. So for that reason, if the movie isn't irreproachable, then you've got to knock some points off. But all in all, it is an honest, heartfelt movie. You really do see within the court both sides of the argument of who should have custody over little Grace McKenna's character Mary. You really do feel, especially for Chris Evans, who wants to do the best for her but doesn't know and doesn't feel like he's giving her as much as she can have. And yeah, I don't want to give it away. It's just a brilliant, heartfelt movie. And you know what? Amongst all of the bombastic action and loud noise of the summer, you could do a lot worse than treating yourself, a girlfriend, a brother, husband, wife, whatever other sucker, to going and seeing Gifted, because it's a good solid movie. Hits you here. It's a good one. So over to you guys. Have you found time in the busy summer schedule to see Gifted? If so, what did you think of it? Please leave your thoughts and your comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, and please click one of these two videos right now to see more reviews from this guy, Nico Luro of the Silver Screen Dudes, and become a Silver Screen Dude. And after I disappear, big logo will appear right here. Hit that, subscribe, join the Silver Screen Dudes revolution, and like all the movie reviews. Until next time, guys, see ya.